What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a video that I did not expect to make this quickly. But I did send in 11 Star Wars customizable card game CCG cards to PSA to be graded. And I wanted to kind of quickly show you guys some of the features from PSA's website, what pricing looks like, some of the tools you'll need if you decided to send some cards in to be graded. And then finally, we're going to unbox some cards that just arrived back. And I sent these cards to PSA on September 26th. They arrived at the facility on the 26th. They were checked in and logged into their queue the following day, the 27th. And they were graded very, very quickly, even though their turnaround times listed on the website is about 90 to 120 days. They were graded in about 10 days or less. And they shipped back to me on October 11th. They are now in hand, and we're going to open them up at the end of this video to show you what kind of grades I got. Very quickly, let me show you some of the features from the website. PSA's, one of the kind of big names within the Star Wars trading card grading game. There are a number of different companies that do it that I've talked about in past market updates, such as SGC, Beckett Grading Services, and then, of course, PSA. So I decided to send some into PSA just to see what it was like. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I just thought it would be fun. And so here's their website. And in terms of their pricing is dependent upon whether you have a membership or not. If you have a membership with them, it's $99 annually. And the prices can be as cheap as $18 a card, depending on if you send them in bulk or if you send them in a smaller batch. For a bulk submission of $18 a card, the card has to be valued less than $200. The estimated turnaround times, again, is 120 days, and you have to have a minimum of 50 cards for a bulk order. I didn't have that many cards, so I sent mine under the value tier, since I do have a membership with PSA. The card has to be valued at less than $500 a card, and again, the estimated turnaround time is 90 to 120 days. They graded mine in about a week and a half or 2 weeks, so it's really quick right now. Again, it's all dependent on how many cards they have on hand in the queue, so to speak. So apparently they don't have a lot right now, but I did submit mine under the value code. Now, PSA does do specials occasionally. They have a special going right now for any kind of trading card game, Star Wars, Pokemon, whatever. If it's a card that's involved as a gameplay mechanic, you can send those in right now. And if you send in a minimum of 10, the grading cost is $15 a card instead of the 30 or 18. So it's a good deal, and you just got to keep an eye out, sign up for their newsletter, and they'll tell you when they have specials running. But usually you have to be a member, an annual member for that. So there are other tiers, as you can see here, just depending on the value of the card. It is value dependent. It's not like CAS where it doesn't really matter what the value of the item is. They're going to charge you the same price. And, they obviously grade other things right there, and they have their estimated turnaround times on their website right now. And you can also get cards that are autographed, dual graded, where they grade the autograph quality as well as the card quality, or you can just get the autograph graded but not the card, or you can just get it authenticated. There's all kinds of different options on their website. And again, if you want to take advantage of the lower prices, you do have to be a member of the PSA Collectors Club, which is $99 annually, as you see right here. They also do, on their website, they have a PDF file and an Adobe Acrobat file with very detailed instructions on how to submit items. It's very easy to do. It works very similar to CGC's website for comics, where you input the name of the card, and there's a drop-down menu, and it'll pull up, it'll auto-populate your submission line if it's a card they've graded before in the past. If it's a card they have not graded in the past, you need to fill it out as best you can and try to be accurate with it. So I wanted to very quickly also show you how the process works. So this is for another order I have going right now, and it shows you every step of the way where my cursor is, where it is in the process. So once it arrives at the facility, you'll receive an email letting you know that it arrived. Once it's actually logged into the system, they'll say the order is now in preparation phase. Then they do the research and ID phase to make sure that the label that they're assigning to it is correct. And they give you a chance to double check it for errors and things like that. I'm expecting this one to take a long time in the research and ID phase because I sent in a bunch of cards that have not been graded before. So they're going to take a little bit longer. At least with my first order that I'm going to show you here in a second, the grading and assembly and then the quality control checks went very quickly. It went from grading to assembly to the quality control check 2 process very quickly. And then about 4 days after that, they actually did ship. They'll send you a notification letting you know it shipped. At that point is when you get charged on your credit card. So you're not charged up front like with AFA and CAS. You're charged at the very end, right before they ship the items to you, which is nice because it allows you to budget and kind of plan out for it. But this happened a lot faster than I expected, and I wasn't quite prepared for the bill, but it is what it is, and I'm sure I'll be able to handle it. But that's kind of the process. They do 2 different quality control checks just to make sure that the case is in good shape and that the label is correct. And if something is wrong, they will, obviously fix it, and then it won't leave that quality control check and actually ship until they fix it. But my first order went really quickly. And before I show you that order, I wanted to show you guys a few tools that you'll need, a few types of items that you'll need for your submissions. So for the tools that you'll need to submit cards to PSA for grading, I've got a few items that I use based on what I found on their website. And here's how they recommend sending cards. If you've got a set of cards that you want to get graded, you first want to put them in what's called penny sleeves or card sleeves. These are very inexpensive. I think it was like $3 to $5 for 100 of them. And you first put the cards in there. Next up, what you want to do is put that sleeved card into what's called a card saver. And this is an example of what the card savers look like. A package of 50 of these runs you about $10, so it's not very expensive. And here's what those card savers look like. They're just like a little, plastic sleeve. They're kind of flimsy, but firm enough to protect the card. And so once the card is in one of these little tiny penny sleeves, you put it inside one of these and then submit this item to PSA. You do not get these back, but they're not very expensive. Do not use top loaders, very hard, rigid top loaders, or any kind of magnetic or screw-in kind of cases. PSA does not recommend doing that. Number one, they're very expensive, but number two, the less that the graders and you handle the card, the higher the scores you're going to get. They always recommend using these card savers, and they can be found on hobby shops online or on eBay. I think I bought 100 count of these for like $20 or less. So not very expensive to do, but always use these instead of top loaders or any kind of screw-in holders for the card, because it just makes it easier access for the graders to take them out, examine them, grade them, and then encapsulate them in the PSA case. Finally, you want to use these gloves, rubber gloves, or any kind of like latex gloves when you're handling the cards, because there is oil on your hands, or Cheeto dust in my case, after a big Sunday of football. So you want to minimize any kind of oil or anything like that as you're transferring the raw cards into penny sleeves and then finally into the card savers. So none of the cards in this batch that I'm getting ready to show you were quote unquote pack fresh, meaning that I didn't buy any packs and then opened them and then picked out the ones I liked the best for grading. These were all cards that I picked up on eBay just based on my naked eye and kind of just taking a look at them, what I thought could score highly. And so I got 11 of them, and it's time to show you the results. So here is how PSA sends back my order. There's 11 cards in here. I have not opened them yet, but I have peeked at the grades. And I've got some surprises in store for you there. But the other great thing about collecting trading cards is the shipping. That's the biggest complaint I have about shipping graded action figures, is that it gets very, very expensive just shipping to and shipping from the grading companies. Not so with PSA. All 11 of these cards were sent by USPS priority mail for $20. So let's dig into this batch of 11 cards, see what kind of grades I got, and then take a look at the population report to see how rare they are. All right, I got the cards out of the box. Here are all 11 of them. Now, keep in mind that I don't know what I'm doing, okay? This is my first time trying to grade cards. I purchased all of these loose, not packed fresh, just based on looking at the photos, zooming in on the photos. So I wasn't sure how I was going to do. I was expecting 7s and 8s. And PSA's grading scale goes from 1 to 10, as you know, 10 being a gem mint, 9 being mint, 8 being near mint / mint, and then 7 being near mint. I was expecting 7s and 8s, okay? So I haven't ordered these or anything. These are all just how they were ordered in the box. So I'm going to go ahead and dig right in, and we're going to take a look at each of them. And all of these are Star Wars customizable card game cards, as I already told you, and they're all foils. So this is a beautiful foil, Radiant 7. And it just looked like a really clean card, awfully pretty, perfectly centered. Now, PSA only has 1 score. Some of the other grading companies, they use sub-scores where they grade the corners, edge wear, the centering on the card, making sure that all the borders are cut correctly. Sometimes a lot of cards can be, miscut, and then surface wear. So all of those factors factor into the PSA score. But this is a beautiful card. It's the Radiant 7, optimized for diplomatic missions with sensor-proof pods that have ejection capabilities. So pretty awesome. I love the foil on that one. And it looked awfully nice on eBay. So let's see what it got. It got a Gem Mint 10. Now, I want you to understand how rare this is. For the entire Reflections 3 series of cards, which is the series that this card is from, for every single card in this series, every single submission of those cards with PSA, there were only 20 PSA Gem Mint 10s in the entire population report across all cards. So for me to get a Gem Mint 10 on this, it's an incredible accomplishment, and I'm just blown away by the fact that it got the 10. Here's the back of the card. They have either the Rebel Alliance logo or the Imperial logo, which I'm sure I have some like that here in this batch. But to get the 10 is just, I saw the score come up and I was like, I cannot believe this. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, truly, it was part luck. Part of it was just zooming in on the photos, but a pretty amazing item. Next up, we've got Schmee Skywalker, obviously Anakin's mother from the prequel trilogy, and a lot of the prequel cards are actually more rare than the original trilogy cards. But this is a Reflections 3 foil of Schmee Skywalker. Pretty cool. It's a little bit plain. Nobody had bothered. Oh, I forgot to do this also. I did pull up the population reports. I promised this. So for the Radiant 7, nobody had actually graded one of these before, probably because it's not a very valuable card. But so this is one of one. This is the only card that's been graded, and it's a Gem Mint 10. So I'm going to try and remember to do that as we go through these. So for Schmee Skywalker, it got the 9, Mint 9 grade. Very happy with that. Anything above an 8, I was not expecting to get, maybe I might get 1 or 2 9s, but I did get a 9 on this one. And this is also one of one. Nobody has bothered to grade this one. And it's not like rarity. It's not value. It's just someone probably just hasn't bothered to send another one of these in yet. But when I saw a clean card, I wanted to give it a try. And that one did get the 9. Next up, we've got Echo Base Garrison. This is another card that I really liked. And for Echo Base Garrison, nobody has graded this one either. But look how beautiful that looks. It shows Princess Leia at Hoth, at the Battle of Hoth, making sure everyone's got their assignments. What an awesome looking card. I love the foils on these. This is also a Reflections 3 foil, and this one got the 9 also. So very happy with that. Again, it's one of one. Nobody else has graded one, but look how beautiful that foil is. I hope it's coming through on the camera because it is just absolutely amazing. Next up, let's see. Next up, we've got Harvest, and I dropped my paper here. Nobody else has graded one of these. This is a one of one also, but this is cool. This is kind of the scene showing the Jawas taking the droids to Owen Lars's homestead to sell, and they're putting all the droids out there. So very, very cool. It says, Harvest is when I need you the most. It's only one season more. This year we'll make enough on the harvest that I'll be able to hire some more hands. And so I like that. I like how they incorporate lines from the movie or little details about the ship or whatever. But this is a great looking foil. And this one also got the Gem Mint 10. So I sent in 11 cards and I got 2 Gem Mint 10s in this batch. So again, there were only 20 across every single card in Reflections 3 series that have been submitted. that have received a 10 grade, and I got 2. I just increased the population of Gem Mint 10s by 2 with this order. So it's just incredible that it got the 10, but pretty awesome. And this one also has the Rebel Alliance logo on the back. So this is a light side card, so to speak. Next up, we've got Supreme Chancellor Valorum. Again, this is another one that nobody has bothered to submit to grading, but it looked awfully clean, and it's just kind of great. Look at all that foil on his robe. I mean, it just looks fantastic. And that one also got the 9, so very happy with that score. Mint 9 score. Very cool. Next up, we've got Jar Binks. Now, people have graded this one before. And so this was one I saw it and I was like, well, it's kind of funny, you know. And, you know, Jar Jar is kind of having a revival, so to speak, I think, with his Jar Jar and Carbonite taking off in price with the Vintage Collection. But look how beautiful that foil is. Just really, really cool. And that one also got the 9, so very happy with that score. Jar Jar, this is one of 5 PSA 9s, and there's 1 PSA 10. So there's 6 total on the population report. But just a beautiful card. Looks really nice there. Next up, I've got a new secret base. This is also kind of from the Battle of Hoth. It shows the troopers preparing for the AT-AT walkers, kind of getting entrenched there with the laser cannon. A very cool looking card. It says, due to constant Imperial pursuit, Alliance engineers become adept at constructing new facilities quickly. So a beautiful card. That one got the 9. This is another one that no one has bothered to grade. So this is a 1 of 1 on the census right now. But I just love these foils. They just really present nicely. Now I've got a dark side card, and this is a heater. This is the Slave 1. And I was expecting on this one to get an 8. But I did get the 9 on it, so very happy about that. There were 2 that were, well, there's 1 on the census before this that was also a PSA 9. There are no PSA 10s for this card, but a pretty nice kind of foil card for Boba Fett's ship. Originally designed as a planetary defense craft, uses restricted jamming technology, allowing it to peer out of nowhere. Contains many hidden armaments. So this is one I picked up online, and I'll include a link to his eBay store, Fonti Finds. He always packs really nicely. He packs them in penny loaders, and then he also packs those in a hard case after that. And, you know, I asked him specifically to please pack it carefully. It arrived safe and sound. I just didn't think it would get the 9. I knew it wasn't a 10, but I did not think it would actually get the 9 grade. But the PSA gods took mercy on me, so I did get the 9 on that Slave 1, and that one's probably my favorite out of this entire batch. Next up, we've got Seeking an Audience. This is a great one that shows C-3PO and R2-D2 along with the hologram of Luke Skywalker in front of Jabba the Hutt. So just one of those epic scenes. With your wisdom, I'm sure that we can work out an arrangement which will be mutually beneficial and enable us to avoid any unpleasant confrontation. Well, Luke, unfortunately, that did not happen, and you had to go Jedi on him. This one did get the 8. I did not expect that one to get very high graded. It had a couple of little minor edgeware issues, but I thought it was just such a cool-looking card with C-3PO Luke and R2-D2 along with Jabba. It's kind of a really awesome scene, and it presents nicely. But that's the near mint to mint 8. Next up, I've got Princess Leia. Now, this was one I did not buy. This was a gift from Darth Grader. And I knew that this wouldn't score high because you can see how badly centered it is. It's got a lot of off-center here. So I knew it was going to at most get an 8 on this one, and that's what it got. It got the 8. But a great-looking card. It kind of shows Leia as she's picturing Luke being, hanging in Bespin City after his battle with Darth Vader. She's connecting with the Force there. It just captures really cool moments like that, and that's what I love about these trading cards. But, centering on the card is very important, especially on the front of the card. Apparently, PSA grades the centering 60-40 front to back. So this one is very badly off-center, but it was a gift, and so I decided to go ahead and get it graded. So pretty awesome looking card. And thank you to Darth Grader over on YouTube for this free gift. And he also sent me one more that I knew would not get a high score, and that is Dengar. You can again see how badly miscut this one is. It's just got a huge left to right It's totally miscut. But I already have one of these. I've got one of these in a PSA 9 already, this exact card, this foil of Dengar. So I decided to get this one graded, knowing that at best it would probably get a 7 or an 8, and it did get the 7. That was the lowest of all of these. But I'm going to give this away on the channel. I'll probably do a PSA market update at some point, and then I'll do a giveaway for this card, since I've already got this one in a PSA 9. But great looking card. I love how his armor kind of changes color there. It goes from the PvP to the Hong Kong, right? It goes from like purple to the standard color, just like the action figure does. So anyway, it got the PSA 7. I knew it wouldn't score that high just because of the miscut there, but I thought it would be a great giveaway on the channel. So anyway, to me, this was an unqualified success to get 2 PSA 10s, 8 PSA 9s, 2 PSA 8s, and 1 PSA 7 in this batch. To get 10s, to me, was not even something I was contemplating. That's like a unicorn riding, or a Bigfoot riding a unicorn while pooping rainbows. I mean, it just was not something that I think I would actually be able to achieve just based on finding loose cards on eBay. So, you know, a lot of it was luck probably, but a pretty incredible first batch, first try, so to speak, with my PSA submissions. I hope you enjoyed this, not only taking a look at these submission returns, but also the process involved in some of the tools that you'll need to submit your own cards to PSA. Thanks again for watching, and I'll be back soon.